All right, let's just get right into it. We are living through what might be one of the most spectacular and honestly, one of the weirdest financial moments in tech history. I'm talking about the AI boom. It's this incredible story of huge ambition, absolutely mind-boggling amounts of money, and a secret that, it turns out, pretty much everyone is in on.
To really get what's happening, you have to picture this. Somewhere out in West Texas, right now, there's a massive data center being built. Now, it's being designed to train AI models that don't even exist yet for customers that haven't actually signed any contracts. And get this, everyone involved, from the ground up, apparently knows it's probably a losing bet.
And what a bet it is. The price tag for just this one project? $4.2 billion. I mean, to put that in perspective, that is more than the entire GDP of some countries. All of it being poured into the desert, built on a foundation of pure, unfiltered hope.
But here's the thing. This data center, this crazy $4 billion gamble, it isn't a one-off. No, it's the perfect symptom of something much, much bigger. We are looking at an entire industry that seems to have completely detached itself from the normal rules of finance, where the story is so compelling that reality has kind of taken a back seat, at least for now.
Okay, so what makes this whole situation so fascinating, so different, is that it's not like the bubbles of the past, where everyone was sort of fooled. This time, the key players, the VCs writing the checks, the founders cashing them, the engineers building the tech, they all know. They are completely aware that this is a bubble, and yet, the party just keeps on going.
So you have to be asking, right? How can a bubble even exist when everybody knows it's a bubble? Well, the answer, as it always is in the money. So let's follow it, and we'll see just how disconnected from reality this whole thing really is. The numbers, frankly, they paint a wild picture.
Just in 2024, $30 billion got poured into AI startups. Let me just say that again, because it's nuts. $30 billion. That is more money than what was invested into social media, crypto, and biotech startups combined. The floodgates are just completely open.
But here's the kicker. For all that cash coming in, there is very little profit going out. This chart says it all, really. A staggering 93% of these AI companies that are soaking up all this money are not profitable. And the vast majority, they don't even have a clear way to get there.
So why does the money keep flowing? Well, it's all about the magic words. This is brilliant. A study found that if you just slap the phrase AI-powered onto your pitch deck, your chances of getting funding shoot up by 340%. The buzzword is literally more valuable than the business plan.
And look, it's not just the little guys. Even the giants of AI, the household names, are struggling to make the math work. Just look at OpenAI and Anthropic. The valuations are astronomical, right? But their annual burn rates, that's the cash they're just setting on fire every year to operate, it absolutely dwarfs their revenue. They are lighting billions of dollars on fire, and the only way they survive is by getting new investors to give them even more.
So, if these companies aren't really making money from customers, where's all this investment cash actually going? Well, this is where it gets really strange. It's all part of this self-reinforcing cycle, this great AI loop that creates the illusion of a massive, healthy market.
Okay, follow the money with me on this one. Step 1. Big tech companies like Google and Microsoft, they spend billions on AI infrastructure. Step 2. VCs see this, they get FOMO, and they pour billions into AI startups. Step 3. What do those startups immediately do with that cash? They turn right around and give it back to Google and Microsoft to buy computing power. So step 4, big tech's cloud revenue numbers look amazing, their stock prices shoot up, and the whole cycle starts all over again. It's a perfect closed system. It's basically a financial perpetual motion machine where money just circulates between the same few players.
So this system, it creates the appearance of growth, but it's not real sticky growth. Because when these AI companies actually try to sell to real businesses, the results are, well, they're not great. A recent survey found that 2/3, a full 67% of corporate AI pilot programs just get quietly canceled. They never turn into real long-term deals. The value, it seems, just isn't there yet.
And this brings us right to the absolute core of the issue, doesn't it? This massive, massive gap between what AI is being sold as and what it can actually do today. So let's just take a second and separate the real breakthroughs from the marketing hype.
So what's real? Well, AI is genuinely great at specific tasks. It helps programmers write code way faster, it can generate incredible images from a text prompt, it can summarize a 100-page document in seconds. That stuff is real, it's useful, it saves time. But what's not real?
This idea that AI is going to replace every knowledge worker in the next couple of years, or the fantasy that its abilities can just scale to infinity without any problems. That is the story that's driving the valuations, not the reality of the tech.
You know, history tells us one thing for sure. Bubbles don't last forever. So the question really isn't if this is all going to end, but when and how. So what are the possible endings for what's become the world's most expensive game of musical chairs?
So there are basically three ways this can play out. The best case, a soft landing. That's where the technology eventually catches up to its crazy valuation, kind of like what happened with cloud computing. The worst case, a catastrophic collapse. Think the crypto crash, where the funding just vanishes, and most of these companies go under. But the most likely scenario, it seems, is market consolidation. A few huge winners will emerge, and almost everyone else will just quietly disappear.
But beyond all the financial stuff, we have to ask a bigger question. What is the hidden cost of this bubble? That loop we talked about, it's not just circulating money. It's sucking in our most valuable resources. For every $1 billion we pour into another unprofitable chatbot, that's $1 billion that didn't go into climate tech or biotech or other really critical fields. It's thousands of the smartest engineers in the world working on hype instead of solving real problems. The opportunity cost here is just enormous.
So if the math doesn't work and the technology is overhyped, why are some of the smartest people in the world still throwing money at it? The answer isn't on a spreadsheet. It's in our heads. It comes down to one of the most powerful human emotions there is: fear.
Get this. At a recent private dinner with a bunch of top tech investors and founders, somebody asked, who here thinks AI is overvalued? 16 out of the 20 people in the room raised their hands. Then, the next question. Okay, now keep your hand up if you're still actively investing in it. 14 of those hands stayed up.
One of the investors at that dinner summed up the whole mentality perfectly. He basically said, look, if I sit this out and I'm wrong, my clients will fire me, my career is over, but if I invest and I lose all their money, well, at least I was doing what everyone else was doing. You see, it's not about conviction, it's about professional survival. It is the ultimate fear of being left behind.
So how does a party like this finally end? Well, bubbles don't deflate slowly, they pop. And the trigger won't be some huge, dramatic event. It'll be something small. A single bad earnings report. A big-name customer canceling a high-profile AI contract. Some tiny piece of news that suddenly makes everyone look around and realize the emperor has no clothes.
And that really brings us to the bottom line. Right now, the music is still playing and everybody is still dancing, but the dance floor is getting incredibly crowded. And the uncomfortable truth that no one really wants to talk about is that there just aren't enough chairs for everyone when the music finally, inevitably, stops.